This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Go Hayes gets a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a judgy blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live. We have a great show for you, our final show. That's right, of the 2023 preseason. It's over. We're going to have the last game of the Bay Bridge series tonight, and then after that, it's on like Donkey Kong. 2023 Bay Bridge series. Tonight, 6:45 first pitch, and then after that, you got 2 days. We'll find out what exactly the 26-man roster is, and then we'll get going. And then all the projections don't matter. All the stuff everybody's talked about in spring training, all that doesn't matter anymore. All the guys who won the winter meetings, all the guys that won the winter, doesn't matter anymore. All the hype doesn't matter. Like in football, once they kick it off for the first time, all that stuff doesn't matter anymore. Once we have the national anthems, we got the bunting, we'll have everybody come out to the lines, we'll announce everybody, and then we get playing for real. And every pitch, every game matters. It always does. For some, more. 2012, and we always talk about this because it's the greatest example of what every pitch, every inning, every game, what it means to a season. It came down to the very last game between the A's and the Rangers. The very last game. And the A's, of course, would win it. Josh Hamilton boots the fly ball. The rest is history. It's one of the great runs, one of the great years of A's fandom. It's one of the great years of my career and my fandom. I will never forget it. Team didn't win the World Series, but boy, did it feel like it. And it came down to the very last, very, very, very last out. The A's, 2012, were the only team in the history of baseball to have never led once. They never led once. The only time they ever led the division was when the final out was made, and they won the division. Crazy. Never happened before. And you look back, the Rangers needed to win just one more game in April, May, June, and they would have never been in that predicament. A's go on, win the West, play the Tigers. Rangers go to the wild card game and lost to who?
2012, the Rangers would have lost to, who was in the World Series that year? Giants and
Tigers.
Yeah. Was it? No, it wasn't Detroit.
No, we played Detroit.
I know. I'm trying. I don't know. I don't want to say the Rays because I don't think it was them.
Who am I? I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't remember.
All right.
I didn't care because the A's were moving on. I have no idea who Texas played. I was thinking you'd know.
That'd be Buck Showalter and the Baltimore Orioles.
And they lost.
Yep.
The Rangers lost. Think about that. The Rangers led the West all year long. And the A's just reeled them in. And then, boom, last day of the year. Well, the A's sweep. A's win. Rangers got to go to a wild card game. They were disappointed. They showed it in the wild card game. They played one extra game and went home. So Don't ever let anybody tell you that the first games of the season don't matter, because the first games of the season, they matter just as much in the standings as the last games. And even for bad teams, even teams that are bad, every pitch, every inning matters for these guys' careers, because you never know. You never know how long you're going to be here. You never know how long you're going to have this opportunity to play Major League Baseball. It could be an inning. It could be an at-bat. It could be 11 games. I mean, you just start looking at guys, right? Rooker may make the team. How many games has he played in the big leagues? He hasn't played 100.
Yeah, I don't think it's that many. It's
not even close. It's not even close.
Brent Rooker in his career has played.
He's 28 years old.
He's played in a total of 81 games.
Yeah. Conor K played 11?
Yeah, not many.
No. He played 11 going into last year with the A's. Yeah, he's under 100. I mean, there's no guarantees for any of these guys, whether it's performance, whether it's injuries. You're fighting for your professional life, no matter what the team, no matter what the situation. Now, for good teams, you're fighting for playoffs. You're fighting for glory. You're fighting for legacy. You're fighting for that ring. And that's what makes it all so special. And it all starts on Thursday. I cannot wait. So this is it. This is the final show of the preseason. And I have something that I wrote down that I want to share. And let's just see what happened in spring. But I wrote this down on A's Stationery. Do you remember when I wrote this down? Do you remember where we were?
I'm trying to remember. Were we spring training?
Games hadn't been started yet. I was in my hotel.
I saw Rendon and Pujols, and it made me think of the Pujols contract, right? He starts his thing with them or whatever.
This was so I wrote this down in my hotel room, getting ready for the show, about how Pujols was starting his 10 million 10-year contract with the Angels to be an ambassador for the team. And talking about so I got Dodgers on here, payroll, Padres payroll out of control. We're now finding out a lot about the Padres now. It's like, whoa. The teams, everybody flipped out about, well, first of all, they misprinted how much the A's made. Yeah. They told you how much the A's made. A lot of you ran with that. They've retracted. It's still a lot of money that the A's made, no question, but it's not even close. It was 62. Now it's like 29.
Something like 28, 29, something
yeah,
like that.
They retracted that. But so anyway, and then I got something about the Phillies owner, which was great. And this is all the stuff that we were about to do our shows, spring training. But there's one goal that I wrote for the A's, and we'll see if they accomplish this. I really want to start today. By the way, Sarah Langs from MLB.com will be here at 4:30. George Kontos, World Series champion with the Giants. Now you see him on NBC Bay Area doing Giants pre- and post-game live. Our first ever guest on video for this show.
Was a Giant.
Forever Giant.
Oh, they released their new tagline, by the way, for this year.
Oh, wait. The fact that we said that, we will end up on a message board going, they brought a Giant on for the first time.
Let me see if I save their. Oh man, I think that their new tagline was "Nothing like it." Giants baseball, nothing like it is their tagline for 2020.
Downtown, everything's great. I remember that was just like, oh my god, I gotta hear this one.
Do I have? Yeah, Giant. Here it is. Giants, nothing like it.
I mean, somebody's got to make this stuff up every year. It's not easy, right? I mean, you got to come up with a slogan every year. You're paying a PR firm a lot of money. Somebody's got to do it. And then Johnny D on the spot. Johnny will be at Oracle Park. We have some trivia for Johnny today, some fun trivia as we get you ready. But on a serious note, I wanted to talk about a legendary radio host who is no longer with us. A lot of you remember JV with the Doghouse, 104.9. And recently they found his body near Pier 39. We knew he'd been missing and dealing with Lyme's disease. And it was just torture for him. And he was an incredible person. And I got to know him a little bit. And I want to pay tribute to him because of his great talent and because of who he was, what he used with that great talent. So if you remember back when Howard Stern was leaving CBS Radio, he had signed the contract with Sirius. It wasn't Sirius XM then, it was Sirius. He had signed the contract with Sirius. He was leaving CBS. So it was a major deal in our industry, the radio industry, because Howard was the cash cow for morning FM stations. He was king in every market. If he wasn't number one, he was top three. And he would carry these stations. And the majority of your billing was going off the Howard Stern Show. Howard is truly one of the great radio personalities and really franchises that we've ever seen in the entertainment business, but especially in radio. There was really two guys in terrestrial radio during that time, and you want to talk about completely opposites of each other. It was Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh. Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh. I mean, when I was on KMBR, a lot of you kids probably wouldn't even know this. Rush Limbaugh used to be on KMBR, and he was a powerhouse. So you had Stern, a powerhouse, making millions upon millions of dollars, and he had Limbaugh making millions upon millions of dollars, which you always think about. It's crazy being in our area that someone like Rush, being so conservative, could have been so big on KMBR. You wouldn't think that was possible. Yeah, but that did exist at one point. And when you had Stern leave, CBS had to rebrand their stations because they had to get away from the Howard Stern brand. So they created this thing called Free FM because they had this Guy Talk station in Los Angeles that was hugely successful. They called it Guy Talk. And I got to be a part of that launch of that new station for CBS that had the Howard Stern Show. And my old partner, John London, who I worked with at KMBR, now we were doing Afternoon Drive for CBS Free FM. It was a big deal. And JV at the time was no longer with the doghouse because of the issues that they had. And they were in a lawsuit. And so he started the morning show on Free FM, but he was only going to be there for a couple months because he was then going to New York. And he was taking his show. He and Elvis were going to New York. So they were our morning show, knowing that they were going to end up being in New York and they were going on to different ventures. So I got to be around him for it's about 3 months. And he grew up listening to John London. So our shows kind of the relationship. And JV, you'd heard so much about him. But getting to know him a little bit and going out with him a little bit, you realize what a special person inside he was. He was so incredibly talented. And that's what these super morning show stars are. The creativity, they're really brilliant. And the way that they're able to communicate with you, the listener, the way they entertain you in traffic when people are angry and they hate being in traffic and you got to go to work, that someone like that, the doghouse, could come on, entertain you, make you laugh, all the hijinks of morning radio, and pushing boundaries that made management uncomfortable. And you knew it made management uncomfortable. And we did that a lot too with John London. You make management uncomfortable, but that's what produces the juice, the ratings. And what does ratings bring?
Money.
Money. JV made a lot of money. A lot of money. And he was very generous with it. And I know stories about it. I actually got to talk to him about it before, that he gave so much of his heart. And he helped so many people. He helped so many people that you didn't know about. Those stories are true. They're telling it now, but it's true. He helped people in their careers. And he was never a guy to say, look what I did for Cody. Look what I did for Ray. Look what I did for Delaire. Look what I did for all of you. No, you didn't know that. He helped promote. He helped get people jobs. He helped in a lot of different ways. And there's just legendary stories of him giving away money. I remember he gave away a Mercedes. He was telling me that story. I'm like, can you imagine you just gave away now he had a lot of money. He was these guys were making a ton of dough. But can you imagine just giving away your Mercedes?
No, I couldn't imagine giving away my Volkswagen.
Correct. He gave away a Mercedes, like a high-end Mercedes decked out with everything. But that's just the kind of guy he was. He had a huge heart. So I just wanted to pay tribute because I know a lot of our fans out there, you grew up with him. You grew up listening to him. And I got a brief moment in time to really get to know him and see him every day. And I knew what a legend he was, and he will be missed. He's one of the great Bay Area radio personalities. I don't know if we'll ever have those again. Terrestrial radio is not in a good place. Nobody wants the crazy morning show anymore. No one wants the hijinks. No one wants that. But that's what got the ratings. That's what got people. People used to wake up and wanted to listen to him. What are they going to do today? Oh, my God, what are they going to do today? I got to know Lamont Tonelli real well for years, and they were the same way. They had crazy stuff that they would do. It made people want to get in their cars. Oh, I got to get in my car. I don't care that I'm going to be in traffic for an hour. I'm going to hear what they're doing. It's Tuesday, and they do this bit on Tuesday, and on Wednesday do this, and then Thursday they do that. They're entertainers. It's the entertainment business.
Their prank call segments were the best.
Which ones?
The Lamont Tonelli.
Oh, they're hilarious. They're great. I don't know how much of that radio is going to be left. But that's what I grew up in. I didn't grow up in the era of I just come on and tell everybody everything's great every single day and everything's sunshine lollipops and I just love everything. You come in with an edge. You come in with an opinion. You come in and have some fun. It's entertainment. You come in to entertain. It's what talk show is all about, and I know not everybody loves that. I get that. Everybody, I know what everybody would want right now. Everybody would love for me to come on and hammer and rip the owner and do all that kind of stuff, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I know it's just I'm not here to please everybody, but I'm here to entertain. And I always respected the guys that were around when I was really in it, and the guys that came before me who are great entertainers. And JV is truly one of the greatest entertainers we've ever seen in San Francisco Bay Area history. God bless him. He'll be missed because he was a saint. I just want to mention that. Like we said, today is the last show before the regular season. We'll be on live Thursday, roaring 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. First guest confirmed. Our good friend, David Forrest, 4:15.
The GM is starting it out?
Yeah. Well, no, we'll see if Kotze wants to be the headliner to start the show. Usually Kotz likes to get off the field and get away from us as soon as possible.
Kotz always wants to go first. I had to get him up there for Steve Vucinich's retirement's part. So I had to MC, I loved it. I MC'd Steve Vucinich's retirement party down in Arizona. And the first text, I got multiple texts of multiple people who wanted to go first because it was going to be alphabetical, which would mean Sandy Alderson was going to be first. But nope, first text out of the gate. Who do you think the first text was?
Mark Kotze.
Mark Kotze. Who do you think text number 2 was?
David Forrest.
David Forrest. It's funny. David would never, hey, Townie, we're making a trade. Here, Townie, let me help you out. Here's a little breaking news for you, Townie.
I don't know. The olive branch might have been extended to you with you helping him out at Vuce's thing. Maybe we'll know about it.
We're gonna know. We're gonna ask him. Hey, listen, I got you. I had to get your manager in first. Who then he sat there in the back and drank beers, but that's a whole nother thing. All right, so we're gonna have David Forrest. We're gonna have the manager Mark Kotze. Who else we're gonna have on opening day?
I asked the Angels for our good friend. No, it's not Shohei Ohtani. No, it's not Mike Trout.
We're not having Shohei Ohtani, the opening day starter, on opening day.
I'm hoping the guy makes
that's Bush League.
I'm hoping the guy makes the team, but we're trying to get Maverick Phillips, aka Brett
Phillips. Oh God, I love him. You know what? Where's my rally monkey? I got a new friend with the Angels. My guy, Brett Phillips, rally monkey. You know what? He will be the one Angel I don't hate. One Angel I will refuse to hate. And I will root for. Not against us, but against everybody else. I'm rooting for him. Great Brett Phillips.
So, and then I have a question for one of our players as well, obviously. Hopefully, we're efforting Jace Peterson or Ramon Laureano because we didn't get to talk to them.
How about Link Soul, the outfits today, huh? The Link Soul outfits, nice sweaters that we got going today. We'll have the polos going when it warms up. LinkSoul.com, new clothing sponsor of A's Cast. So thank you very much, Link Soul. Check out all their stuff. They've got their T-shirts are awesome. They've got their whole, whether you're going to the beach, you're going to dinner, you want whatever, it's high quality and goes for anything that you're doing. We're going to wear a lot of the golf stuff, but not everything's golf stuff. And everybody was giving you compliments. We've dressed Cody up.
Yeah, wife's family, big fans of Link Soul, the pullover I wore on the show Friday. I had it on, and Friday night when I got down to Pismo Beach area.
How was Pismo?
It was a good time. I mean, we went to a Roaring 20s themed fundraiser.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Did you dress up? Zoot suit?
I had my I dressed up pretty nice. My wife did too. I mean, it was for the kids.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. My wife.
What kids, we don't know, but we did it for the kids.
It was for my wife's little cousins who are, 11, 9, and 5. So we helped them out. My wife ended up getting 3 bottles of wine that were like $40 a piece each. So we really didn't need, but we got those. We bid on a few things. We got outbid, thank God.
It's for the kids. Don't be cheap.
Yeah, well, some of these things were going for like $2,000. I'm like, I don't know if I can spend that much on a cheesecake, but it was a good time. And then it benefited the school that her cousins go to. So I was happy to be a part of that.
Well, good. And you didn't go to my favorite spot down there.
Well, I don't eat seafood, so I did go to Zorro's, though. I know you love Zorro's.
Yeah, Zorro's is a good spot. Mexican food. Cracked crab.
I sent you a picture, though. I walked to the pier. It's a 3.5-mile walk one way. So
cracked crab is awesome. So they have they'll bring out the buckets of seafood. So it can be like shrimp, mussels, oysters, crab. I always have my add lobster, and it's the potatoes and sausage and corn, and they just dump that thing in front of you, and it's a feast. Great clam chowder too. Unbelievable.
I was thinking of you this weekend when I saw the news about when we got the confirmation of something we've been told, but we got confirmation about how Fuji's going to start on Saturday, once per week on Saturdays, confirmed. It sounds like a 5-man rotation, so we're looking at seeing who's going to be the 5th starter.
Just to let you know, we already knew that.
What?
That he was the Saturday guy.
Well, I don't know if it was actually publicly put out there. We were told from the inside, from our sources.
Folks, this is why you listen to A's Cast. This is why you listen, stream. This is why you watch the video. We told you this a long time ago. He was going to be the Saturday guy. The days of you waiting to see what the newspaper said are going away. And we already told you a long time ago. Diaz is going to play short. Nick Allen is not going to be the everyday guy. We told you that.
Diaz is playing again tonight, short.
We told you that, right?
I think we were talking about that in spring training.
We were talking about it a long time ago because we knew. Just because, okay, this is what just to kind of let everybody know this is how it works. We're not saying we're here to break news and we're going to go out on Twitter and we're breaking news and we want to be first. We just talk about it. Read between the lines. We talk about stuff. If you know we're talking about stuff that we know. That if you're waiting we love MLB.com. We love our guys with the Chronicle. We love them. Love them to death. But we told you a long time ago this stuff. We said Fuji's going to be the Saturday guy. Get ready for him to pitch once a week. We said that weeks ago. It's not breaking. That's not official because they said it. Oh, and now it's official. Well, we were telling you. Fuji's going to pitch once a week. I did the whole thing about how are you going to get 4,374 outs with a guy pitching once a week? Do you remember that? Remember that stuff I go on and on about? Well, sometimes you got to realize we know we're giving you inside stuff without telling you it's inside stuff.
It's interesting, though, that's a 5-man rotation to start, not 6. We'll see how long that lasts. I still think the 6-man rotation is gonna be a thing for sure. Not just for us, I'm talking about for the league overall, because for some reason we want to reduce pitchers pitching every day.
Well, that's an interesting question. That's an interesting thing that you just said there. It's not a question. It's an interesting statement.
Not a take. It wasn't a take. It was just a statement.
No, that's not your take. But because it's going to be tried and it continues to get tried, but no one's been able to do it. And no one's been able to be successful with it. Now I was watching the thing with the great David Cohn. God, I want to text you and just start screaming at you. David Cohn is like real first year where he's like healthy, got a shot with 88. He went 20-3 with like a 2.33 ERA for the Mets.
Pretty good year.
I mean, incredible. But, he said, when he 87 for the Mets, they won in 86?
86-1, yeah.
87. They all got hurt. He was like the 5.5, 6 man. And they all got hurt. At one point, they all were hurt. The entire staff. One of the reasons why the Mets didn't have the same year and weren't able to repeat.
He was 5-6 that year. Then it was an 88 where he won 20-3.
20-3 with a 2.22 ERA.
It didn't even lead the league. Either did his 20 wins.
So I don't know how. I don't know how someone's going to do it. You're going to put so much stress on your bullpen. It's crazy. Now, could you get away with a 6-man rotation if everybody went 7-8 innings every start? Yeah. But I'm going to put together a pie chart to say if there's 9 innings a game for a week, there's 7 games in a week, we'll say there's no day off, right? Because we have a lot of stretches we have no day off. So that's what, 56 innings?
Mm-hmm.
If you only pitch in 6 or less innings of those 56, you're not contributing a whole heck of a lot.
No.
You're not a really big part of the work week.
Did we break it down already what that percentage was?
No, I've never done that percent. That's even worse.
Yeah, because what was the one we had before? Was really
the one
low?
I had before was you're only part of 13% of the week. You're going to be well below that. Can you imagine having a job where you're in an official, what we call a week for the A's, 7 days, 9 innings a day, and if you show up for 5 innings in 7 days of 56 innings,
that's 63. Not times
63.
Yeah.
You're basically not participating in a whole heck of a lot. If I put a pie chart in of what everybody is doing inside that pie chart, you're a little bit of a sliver. I don't know what your worth is.
It's a fair point. Yeah.
Like, seriously, you can look at that, whether it's professional sports, not professional sports. You're almost just like an independent contractor who basically roams in.
You work when you want to work.
It's crazy. I'm going to go 1 time a week. What if you go 4 1/3 and you pitch once a week? What is your value?
You don't even qualify. Well, it's a whole nother discussion, but you don't even qualify for the win if you do pitch well in that 4 1/3 or 4 2/3.
I'm having a hard time with this. And really it's this, I've been saying the last couple of years, it's all coming to a tipping point, and we're here. And now they're all going to get, it's like, what do front offices do, right? They copy each other. They're all kind of copying each other. They call, the Rays started shifting. Everybody started shifting. It's a copycat league, right? Everybody's trying to figure out, because no one wants their pitchers to go through the lineup a third time. So that means guys are not going deep. And now you want guys to be maximum everything when they pitch. And if they do that, they can't go long innings. So now how we can figure out how we can maximize these guys. So now we're going to spread them out even more to 6 innings. But then baseball kind of flipped it on everybody when they said, you can only have 13 pitchers. And then that now takes away a reliever from you. So now you're going to have a reliever who's kind of a long guy / starter. Man, what if he's not good? I mean, there's a lot of variables of how this thing goes bad. We've never seen anybody do it successfully. We've seen the 4-man rotation and the 5-man rotation, but really a 6-man rotation. They don't want to fully commit to it, by the way.
Yeah, well, ask the Angels how it worked out. It's been working out for them.
But no one wants to commit to it. Everybody's kind of like, well, we got days off, and so 5 days with a swing man, and they don't want to fully commit to it because no one's. If someone makes it work, then everybody can say, "See, it works," but no one's been able to do that yet. So everybody's like non-committal. It's a 5.5 guy. But when somebody does, we'll talk to Sarah Langs in just a moment. The thing that I said, that I wrote down at the start of spring training, will the A's change their offensive strategies to be competitive this season? Will the A's change their offensive strategies to be competitive this season? My point was, you're not going to hit a lot of home runs. So if you don't hit a lot of home runs, you can walk all you want. You're not going to score any runs. You're just going to be leaving guys on base.
That's a fact, yes.
Right? So if you don't hit home run, if all you do is, if you've been built on walks and home runs and you don't hit home runs, walks are not going to do anything for you because you haven't hit for average. So I don't know. If you're not hitting for average, you're not hitting for home runs. I don't know walks, they're going to do for you. What was the stat that was in yesterday's game notes going into the game 1 of the Bay Bridge series?
I didn't get the game notes, so I don't know. Stolen bases.
Rule changes. The A's have stolen 40 bases, which is tied with the Reds and the Giants for the most in the majors. They're doing it. What we talked about in spring, how are they going to be competitive? How are they going to score runs? How they dominate 90 feet? How are you going to take 90 feet? How are you going to utilize 90? Because the days of walk, home run are done for the A's and for a lot of teams. So everybody, all 30 teams were trying to play the same script. It's actually 29 teams because the Guardians weren't doing that. How many teams now are going to go, you know what? Contact, stealing, moving runners over, taking first to third, stealing bases, stealing at will, because pitchers are terrible at holding runners until that becomes an art form again. How many people are going to take advantage of it and say, hey, this is how we're going to win? We're going to go a different strategy. So could this be a year? And that's where Sarah Langs comes in from MLB.com, joining us here on A's Cast Live. How are you? You look great.
I am great. How are you?
I'm excited. This is our last game of the Bay Bridge series. I'm sure your mom's excited as a huge Giants fan to get this thing going. I know how much you love the game of baseball, and we love we read you, and we know the content that you have to come up with in the offseason. But after this, we get to actually have real games, and you get to write about real things, not projections, not guesses, not hypothesis, actual real baseball. I know you got to be excited.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm so excited. The fact that yesterday was our last Sunday without baseball until November was absolutely amazing. And I'm just so excited for real numbers, as you said, real games, real matchups. I mean, on Thursday, we're going to have 8 Cy Youngs on the bump. Across the board, 8 pitchers who have won at least one Cy Young. It's going to be a really, really fun way to get this started.
Yeah, there is no question about that. Opening day, we were kicking it around, and I don't want to sound like Old Man River about when you're talking about the opening day starter. It seems like some organizations don't care anymore about, because it's just game 1 of 162, but there still is some of us who like the tradition of that first guy, that first matchup. It's the best of the best. It's opening day. It's the bunting. It's the national anthem. It's the packed crowd. It still means, please tell me, Sarah, it still means something.
Oh, of course it does. And you can see it. I mean, with Cody's Pirates, we saw it when Mitch Keller was named opening day starter. They had a video with him getting named in the manager's office and, everything that he felt about getting that honor to be that guy kicking it off. So, yes, I mean, sometimes it comes down to who's healthy, who's available. But I think there's still a lot of honor and a lot that comes with being that opening day starter.
I want to know what you think from a number standpoint. Now, you don't have the numbers yet to really delve into it, but maybe, just maybe, there's something from spring training that you have seen that, like I mentioned with the A's, and there's quite a few teams like this, the script everybody's been running, home runs, walks, that's how you score. There's a lot of teams that are not going to be able to score like that. They're just not built that way. They just don't have that kind of offense. But now you got teams being encouraged. It's not like it's someone's like coming out of nowhere saying, you know what, we're going to do this. It's like baseball saying, please steal more bases. Please put the ball in play. Please be more interesting. Play a different style of baseball. We're giving you pitch timers. We're giving you no shifts. We're giving you bigger bases. We're doing everything we can to get you dummies to do something else. Will we see teams say, you know what? We're now playing a different brand of baseball. And then you'll have a great contrast of home run teams against teams who run, teams who play better defense. Are we going to see that, do you think?
I do think the game will look pretty different. To me, the stolen bases is the big thing, really aesthetically, that we'll see. We'll see a lot more of those. And of course, not having the shift means we'll get those base hits from lefties, especially, that have been ground balls for the last, 10 years. But overall, I think hitters are still who they are. I think we'll see some guys maybe transform a bit, but I'm not sure the entire brand of baseball will be different. But I do think that those bits and pieces will be there where hopefully we see more guys on base. We see more action on the base paths. I mean, we've already seen with the time of games in spring training, there's more action. There's less dead time, less waiting time.
Yeah.
So I think we will really see that to an even larger degree once games get underway and they matter, as opposed to spring training.
Yeah, it's like we hope, we don't know, we've got an idea about spring training. I don't know how we can possibly look at it and say this is not. Some people don't think it's going to be dramatic. Some people do. I'm on the dramatic side. I'm a talk show host. I think batting average for lefties is about to like it's going to change. Like, and the reason why I say it, Sarah, people try and think of this too much about strategy and less about what human beings are like. And for hitters, they have been in this realm of they've been locked in thinking, oh, God, if I hit a ground ball, I'm out. So their mind has been cluttered. I have a feeling that now the players are going to get up to the plate and have freedom again. They're going to have freedom, kind of like a golfer, tight fairway versus big fairway. You got a big fairway, grip it and rip it. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of freedom at the plate for these left-handed hitters compared to like they've almost felt like they're a little bit in jail. Now it's going to be freedom, and I think that freedom, and now you're going to see balls just flying all over the place, up the middle to the right side, way more hits, batting average going up. I'm expecting big things. What would you bet on?
I mean, I do think that's a really good point because the way that we track shifts in the time that StatCast has been tracking them allows us to see any results that happened when there was a shift. And I remember when we first got this data a couple of years ago, it came out that there were a lot more strikeouts when the shift was on. So that gets to your point that those hitters seeing the shift were maybe, protecting too much, swinging over too much, in trying not to hit that ground ball right at that guy who was shifted over. So without the shift, again, it's not just that we'll see those ground ball base hits, but that we'll see other outcomes maybe increase as well. I am always not inclined to say we'll be super dramatic, but I do think this will be much more dramatic than any other change we've seen lately, right? We saw the intentional walk stop being 4 pitches. We've seen, mound visits restricted, things like that over the last few years. This seems like it's going to feel like very different baseball compared to last year.
When you look at what I know it's near and dear to your heart, the Mets, and you look at the Braves, and you look at the defending national champs, the Phillies, wow. It just seems like this is going to be, a lot of fun to watch certain divisions. I think you got 3 teams. I mean, one of the best memes that they had out there last year was a picture of 2 guys fighting, and it was the Braves and the Mets. And then they had the guys over there smoking, just watching the fight, having a good time. It was the Phillies. It was one of the great pictures, right? It was so hilarious. But that's like, this is going to be a full-on absolute brawl in the National League East. And, of course, we know what a big Mets fan you are. There's so much attention around the Mets. Mets-Yankees baseball, the fight in New York City is back and alive. Just when you think about this season from the NL East to the Battle of New York, how you feeling?
I mean, that NL East is going to be fascinating. Last time I looked, it was the only division with 3 teams projected to win at least 89 games. And of course, those Pagoda projections are usually a little conservative. But to me, what really stands out is that each team has had some sort of roadblock or bump in the road lately. The Phillies, obviously, we knew Bryce Harper wouldn't be back until midseason, but now it's the Rhys Hoskins injury. With the Mets, obviously, the Edwin Diaz injury. And for the Braves, they had this shortstop battle in camp between Brendan Shoemaker and Vaughn Grissom. They ended up saying neither of them won the job, sending them down, and Orlando Arcia is going to be their starting shortstop. So each team is not in the exact spot they expected to be right now. But regardless, they're all kind of on equal playing field. I mean, I've been picking the Braves to win mostly because they have the youth in a way that maybe the Mets lack a little bit. And the Phillies, if Harper were back a bit sooner, maybe I would be picking them. But I mean, every day I go back and forth, and I know I have to submit an official pick sometime in the next 3 days. I'm looking at the calendar on my computer screen, and I still have no idea who I'm going to pick. I mean, Mandy Bella covers the Guardians for us at MLB.com, and I'm recording a podcast in like 20 minutes where I'm going to have to make a pick, and I still don't know who I'm going to pick.
So when do you, okay, so you're taping a podcast in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly.
But when for MLB.com, when do you have to have your official picks in?
I assume by Thursday morning.
All right. So you're going Braves. Where
now? Yeah.
Do you okay, let's go out to our division. I mean, we're not expecting you to take the A's, even though we'd love you for it. Is this the time that you maybe see a little falter in the Astros and maybe a little step for the Mariners up? Can the Mariners take them down?
I don't know if this is the year, only because that pitching, even without Justin Verlander, is going to be so good. I love the Jose Abreu, but the Mariners are going to be great. So are the Astros. I don't know if the Astros are where they've been the last few years, but I do think they're still a bit of a cut above the Mariners. But the time is coming. The time is coming.
All right, Central. I know always, I mean, Cleveland, anybody bets it's Cleveland, you're kind of like, really? I mean, what Terry Francona, a friend of this program, friend of the A's, has done over the years with their pitching and their defense. Obviously, the Twins are going to be good. I'm going to say that this year, if you're going to buy a stock in a team who floundered last year and could really change things up, to me is the White Sox. But where would you go in Central?
I'm going Guardians there, but I agree with you about the White Sox. They had a lot of injuries last year. I do think they'll be better. For them, it comes down to which is the real Lucas Giolito. He had a really puzzling year last year. So figuring out where he lands up, and Lance Lynn continuing to be all reliable for them like he was for Team USA 2 weeks ago, by the way. So I am still going Guardians, Twins, and then White Sox, but I think the White Sox will be better than last year.
Okay, the Yankees and the Bombers. I mean, at some point, Toronto's got to stop being the cute chic pick, and they got to step up. Can't ever bet against the Rays. Boston is still kind of a flip of a coin. What do they want to be? Baltimore came on strong at one point last year, traded their two best, fell off. Are they still going to be a good story? How do you see the East?
So I do think it's the Yankees, although the injuries they've had to their pitching staff over the last, couple of weeks here, and even just over the weekend with Luis Severino, are definitely troubling. Obviously, Carlos Rodon not starting the season with the team because he's injured is not ideal. But I do still think they're cut above with Aaron Judge, hopefully Giancarlo Stanton staying healthy. And I'm really excited for Anthony Volpe, who's going to be their shortstop at 21 years old. I think the Blue Jays are second in that division. I know the Rays always have this magic where we don't expect them, and then they're still really good. I think both of those teams will be good, but I think the Blue Jays may have underperformed a bit last year. Obviously, very disappointing postseason exit, but I think they will be really good this year with their pitching. Adding Chris Bassett, and I think Vladdy will have, he wasn't bad last year, but he wasn't the MVP caliber he'd been the year before. I think he bounces back to being more of that MVP level this year.
Yeah, Volpe. I mean, this guy, he's 21 years old. He's from New Jersey. I was reading this thing when he was in AAA in Newark. Like, all the teammates were going home to his parents' house, and they were all hanging at his parents' house. And I'm thinking, man, 21 years old, shortstop for the Yankees. Wow. I mean, wow. That's like being a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, he grew up with Derek Jeter being his favorite player, and now he's going to be the youngest Yankee to start opening day since Derek Jeter in 1996. I mean, that's literally what you dream about. I saw on Twitter the other day about how in 2014 at the All-Star game in Minnesota, he was, 13? And he got an autograph from Jeter in what was, I guess, his final All-Star game there. So, I mean, there's just so much. And it'll be really, really fun.
God bless him, man. Not many people have that. It's like the kid that comes out. I think it's like quarterback. Like, you come out of a powerhouse school, and next thing you know, you're starting at 22 years old in the National Football League. It's like, man, you are living the dream. Okay, quickly, the National League. You already said, are you committed to Bravos? I know you're going on a podcast here, and we got to get you out of here. You're committed to Bravos?
I'll stick with it. Yeah.
What about my old guys in the Mets? What about my Mets? What about Scherzer, Verlander, my old guys? Guys who actually pitch innings. Well, how?
I mean, they're going to be great, but you said it, the old guys. That's the question. I also think the Mets offense needed that Carlos Correa upgrade or some sort of upgrade, and they didn't really have that internally. So we'll see. They have some guys down AAA, Brett Beatty, Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos. Any of them could be an impact by a couple months into the season, but I think the Mets lineup might not be. It doesn't have Ronald Acuna Jr. That's all I'll say.
All righty, so we go to the Central, pretty standard. Cardinals, Brewers could trade people, especially their pitchers. Do you see it any other way than Cardinals?
No, I think it's the Cardinals. The Brewers actually had a much better offense last year than people give them credit for, so I do want to mention that, but we tend to think of them as pitching heavy. Overall, I just think the Cardinals are in a really good spot. And by the way, speaking of really exciting call-ups, there's 20-year-old Jordan Walker, who is a Aaron Judge-sized individual and is going to be a really, really fun player to watch for a long time for the Cardinals.
Yeah, when we did the Cardinals preview, we were talking about him being 6'5". You're like, this is a big dude, very and kind of like, if you really look at the most interesting divisions, we talked about the NL East, we talked about the AL East. The other one is the National League West. It's like the Dodgers have owned this thing for many years. Statistically, they're still far ahead of everybody. Padres had that run in the playoffs, but still there was a big separation between the Padres and the Dodgers during the regular season. Giants have added a bunch of pieces. I'm a little bullish on Arizona. I think they're going to be better. I think they're super athletic. I don't know how much that changes in the standings, but how do you see the NL West?
You know, I think I'm going to be picking the Padres. It's another one I keep going back and forth on. But, I mean, overall, the Dodgers are the champs until proven otherwise. But looking at where they're at, especially with now the Gavin Lux injury, I mean, it's been about a month, but knowing they have that moving forward, I just think the Padres are a bit better rounded, and I'm expecting a huge year from Juan Soto, who struggled a bit last year in a way that only he could, where he was still really, really good. I think he'll be the Juan Soto we're used to. I do agree with you about Arizona. I love the youth and athleticism with that team. I think they could finish third ahead of the Giants just with Corbin Carroll and everyone else who's going to be carrying them.
Why are you pointing at the screen, Cody? He's over here just pointing at the
screen. No, I was fist bumping that you picked them to finish out of the Giants.
Well, will you get on camera then? I mean, you're like reacting to her, and then he's over here making motion. I don't know what the hell what are you doing over there?
I'm a little disappointed you didn't pick the Pirates from the Central, but it's okay. Next year's their year.
I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. Are you kidding me? They stink.
They do got the Giannis Antetokounmpo of baseball and O'Neal Cruz. So, but I'm with you about Arizona. I like Corbin Carroll, Alec Thomas, their pitching staff with Gallen and Merrill Kelly. I think they're going to, like Chris said, and you've talked about, they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. And we really like Torey Lovella, so we couldn't be happier for Torey, for them to do well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they're going to be really, really fun to watch. And I think that's just a great thing for that division, which has been really binary lately, right? It's been pretty much just Dodgers. We have the one Giants year, but now we have a Padres team even better than the last few years with the Diamondbacks on the rise. It's really, really good for baseball.
Well, there's one thing that I want in 2023. I want Sarah Langs on the show. I want Sarah Langs on MLB.com. I want Sarah Langs on Twitter every night where I'm going, damn, how did she find that? And then I steal from you. I do mention your name, but I use you all the time for my hits during the game. Sarah Langs said, so I want as much Sarah Langs as I possibly can get in 2023. That is my number one thing I want for this season.
I love it. I will do my absolute best. Always here. Always love chatting with you, both of you. And thank you so much. I mean, I'm really, really excited for the year.
You look great and can't wait to talk to you again. Good luck on that podcast. And let's talk very soon. And since I won't talk to you on Thursday, I'll text you. But I want to tell you face-to-face here, happy opening day.
Happy opening day. We made it. It's pouring here right now in New York, but we made it. We made it to baseball. I'm so, so excited. Thank you.
Be well, my friend.
See ya.
The great Sarah Langs. Nobody better on Twitter. Nobody. I mean, she pumps out information that you can't even, like, how do you find that?
It's remarkable. I mean, I thought I was getting good at it, but I'm nowhere near what Sarah can do.
No.
I've learned a lot of my stuff.
That's
from
no
Sarah.
disrespect to you, by the way.
No, I know.
She's a wizard.
I'm not offended.
Would she not be she'd be a witch, not a wizard. Correct?
I'm not into you're the Dungeons and Dragons player that we found out in their spring training.
I'm a big Harry Potter guy. She'd be a witch, not a wizard. Right?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it is in Harry Potter.
Because a man could be a warlock or a wizard.
I mean, Ray, if you're listening, you're getting the scoop on what happened this is really going behind the scenes what happened in Arizona.
I don't know. I really don't know. I just know she's incredible. And then her writing second to none, obviously with the issues that she's dealing with. But and that's why, you know what, with her, I know she just wants to talk baseball. So that's what we're going to talk about. When we have her on, we're talking baseball.
Exactly.
And do they still have the GoFundMe up?
I think so. Mandy Bell, who I'm actually going to try to get her on. We played the Guardians second series of the year in Oakland. So I'll try to get Mandy on and we can talk about that and Sarah and everything on top of the Guardians. Because, our good friend Terry Francona is still the manager. Tito,
grade A. Terry Francona talks about his 1 year as bench coach was one of the best years he's ever had in baseball. And it helped lead him to what he did with Boston and now Cleveland. It was a big year for him personally and professionally, of kind of like a reboot for him. So Oakland, that's why he always comes on with us. That's why he was there for Steve Vucinich's retirement party. 1 year, Terry Francona in Oakland, and it meant a lot to him.
I didn't know he's a Vuce's retirement. That's pretty awesome.
Well, you weren't there.
I know, but they do have spring training in Arizona, so I guess it makes a little sense, more sense that he was there.
Probably would have been tough if he was in Florida.
Long flight.
Or if from back where you're from, they got Florida.
Yeah.
Not Florida, Florida.
Speaking of that, congratulations to Florida Atlantic University for being.
How about San Diego State?
They're playing each other in the Final Four.
How about Florida Atlantic? I grew up right next to San Diego State. I learned to swim at San Diego State's pool. I did all my baseball camps, football camps at San Diego State. My nephew is on the San Diego State golf team, Jack Townsend. Congratulations to the Aztecs.
So you're rooting for the Aztecs?
Yes, I'm rooting for the Aztecs. Even though I'm not a big Aztec fan.
They put out a
as Spartans. Well, I'm always anti-Aztecs, but here I will claim Aztecs.
They put a video out. Fort Atlanta put a video out. It's really funny. If you're a Seinfeld fan, look it up. I think John Rothstein had it.
That is so you that you would go and bring up a Florida team before you'd actually bring up a California team, which, by the way, the Aztecs are only the third public school in California history. California, you live in California now. You should, all as Californians and taxpayers, be happy that the Aztecs joined UCLA and Cal as the only team, public school in California, to make the Final Four. That's a big deal, man.
Yeah. It's a future Pac-12
You're
team.
in California. You're not in Florida on the East Coast. No one cares about Florida Atlantic. You should be singing the praises of the Aztecs and the California state school system, as I am a product of the California state school system. And a lot of our listeners either went to San Francisco State, Sac State, Hayward State. You call it
Cal State East Bay.
Cal State East Bay. We a lot of Chico State, Fullerton State, Long Beach State.
You're forgetting Fresno.
They don't count. San Diego State, Cal State Los Angeles. There's a bunch of them. This is a big deal for California schools. That says something. That a public school in California can get to the Final Four when you got all these cheating schools like Kentucky and Duke and all these people have been paying players for all these years. Oh, my God, don't say that. Yes, it's true. They've all been paying players for all these years. How is San Diego State, San Jose State, Fullerton State, Long Beach State, how is everybody supposed to compete with that? How are they supposed to compete? How's Cal supposed to be competing when you got all these schools who are legally paying guys? A bunch of one-and-done guys.
Yeah, I don't get the one-and-done thing, so I can't stand that.
So we should sit back on a day like this and praise somebody from California and say, you know what? These guys, what they're doing, competing against the very best, making the Final Four, your tax dollars go to the state school system. We should all be happy for San Diego State today. What do you think about that?
They have a really good team.
So go ahead. Now praise Florida Atlantic, who no one cares.
Go out. No, I don't think either of them are going to beat UConn, so it's okay. But congratulations to both.
Why would you say that?
I think UConn's the best team in the tournament.
I never heard you say that until now. So you've waited all this time to base.
There's a reason why I picked them to go to the national title game.
But you didn't pick them to win.
No, that was Alabama. That didn't work out right. That didn't work out well.
Everybody now loves to tell you what they think. Where were you before? Anybody can beat anybody.
This is great.
Anybody can beat anybody. Look how bad the Zags looked. And I was at Perry's in San Francisco on Saturday night. By the way, ALO at Fillmore on Saturday night. We're going to bring one of the band members from ALO on. They sold out the Fillmore on Saturday night. I went. He's a huge A's fan. Huge. Grew up an A's fan. So we're going to bring him on. But, yeah, we're at Perry's watching the game and looking up, and it's just like, man, the Zags, even though as good as UConn is, the Zags just looked.
No, they didn't look good.
They looked done. Like they were done. I mean, when you get beat, when you're trailing by over 30, I don't care how good what the other team is. You just nothing dropped. Wide open shots didn't drop. They weren't switching on defense. They weren't playing defense. They weren't rebounding. I mean, the Zags look like that team. Like, you know, at Christmas time, there's that Christmas tournament. And you played all these games, and by the end, you're like, I'm toast. I want to go home. That's what they look like.
The sad thing is I'm tired of everyone going, well, you know, San Diego State doesn't play anybody. They're in the Final Four. Doesn't matter I don't care who they played in the Mountain West. They're in the Final Four.
Who's saying that?
My friends are going, oh, they don't play. Look at their conference. It's so weak.
So your friends where are they?
Here.
So your friends who probably don't watch college basketball throughout the entire year and have big opinions.
Yeah, my one friend went to Arizona for a semester, and he claims that he's an Arizona lifer. He always goes, my school. I'm like, dude, you went there for like a semester.
Hey, my Spartans had a good win.
CBI.
The whole thing is, it's like, yeah, everybody does play each other. It's called the tournament.
Yeah, and
it's called the tournament.
And San Diego State's in the Final Four for a reason.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, let's say Creighton wins that. Are you gonna say Creighton doesn't play anybody?
No, because Creighton's a good team too. I did watch a little bit.
No, but are the same people going to say that?
Yeah, because it's not Kentucky.
Well, one of them had to win.
It's not Kentucky or Duke. Or North Carolina.
Miami's in, and it's not football. It's basketball. It's not football. Michael Irvin's not playing in this game. No, Benny Blades or Bernie Kosar.
You're telling me Larry Coker's not coaching that team?
No. Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson. No, it's
Butch
basketball.
Davis.
They are in the Final Four. So it's like, deal with it. I hate that. I hate that when smaller schools win, they say, well, who do they play? Hey, here's the reality. So there's certain schools that have a bunch of one-and-done guys that they'd never develop continuity.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. That's
they don't
why these
develop
schools do
teamwork.
so well.
That's why Princeton, who these dudes play together for 3-4 straight years, they're a team. They're a functioning unit, are stronger than three guys that are going to play in the NBA who don't share the ball, don't know how to share the ball, and basically they're winning, and they're young. I mean, you're taking. Okay, you may be a super talent, but you're just 1 year out of high school. You're super talent, like athletically, but brain-wise, your basketball brain isn't what it's going to be years from now once you've played in the NBA. I mean, you're relying on super young, immature, talented guys just to out-talent everybody. And when you get a team that just plays better team defense, team offense, you're going to lose. So the whole, who did you play during the regular season? That's dumb. I mean, if that hasn't been disproven in at least basketball, we have over 300 Division I basketball teams. What is I don't even know what the official number is.
It's like 330 or something like that. Official Division I college basketball teams.
330 teams, and just about anybody can beat anybody on any given day, especially in an arena of where were they? I mean, they've been playing in big spots, especially the Final Four. You're playing in who are you texting?
Kontos.
What's he saying? Is
he
ready to rock?
I'm waiting for him. He hasn't joined yet, so I think it was. He should know. He was our first guest.
And you're playing in football stadiums. That's another thing. You're going at where is it? Where's this one? Houston?
Yeah, Houston.
So they're playing at the Texan Stadium, right?
Yeah, it's what is it called now? NRG Stadium.
I've been there and done a game there.
Yeah, NRG. There he is.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't even know how you would compare that to baseball. I mean, can you imagine these places? They're playing in these tiny college arenas. The next thing you know, you're playing in big arenas. And the next thing you know, you're playing in a football stadium. George, I don't know how you'd compare this. I'm sure you've been watching the Final Four, but can you imagine? You're like the school, your gym holds like 5,000 to maybe 10,000. Next thing you know, you're playing bigger arenas. And then now you're going to go to the Final Four, and there's going to be 80,000 people, and you're playing in a football stadium. I wouldn't even know how to compare that. This type of atmosphere to baseball.
Well, it's interesting. The way that I would kind of bring it to baseball is when I first pitched in the playoffs, my first time in 2012. You pitch through the regular season, you go through all the games and situations that you're used to being in, and then everything starts getting magnified tremendously with people in the stands and views from the TVs and all the cameras, and the adrenaline kicks up a tick every round that you go through, and you get a little bit more anxious, a little bit more nervous. And then once you get in the game, where the game starts in basketball, I would imagine that it all goes away and it's business as usual.
Well, it's so funny about you when looking at this show. So we are the #1 podcast in Major League Baseball. We're approaching 7 million downloads.
Congratulations.
It's been crazy, the growth that we have had. And you were, since we first launched audio, video, you were our first. People look back and go, wait a minute, you had a Giant as your first guest? Yes, a World Series champion Giant was our very first ever guest. We've always wanted to thank you for that. And it's amazing the greatness of what we've had on, everybody in the game of baseball that we've had on video since we've had everybody audio. Now we've basically had everybody video, but you were the first.
Well, first of all, congratulations on all your guys' success, and thanks for having me back.
Nah, it's great. Obviously, this time of year, it's a tradition, especially back in the day when the American League didn't play the National League and Interleague play. Some of us are old enough to remember that. But always the Bay Bridge Series when the teams head north, as they say, and now you get, whether it's at the Coliseum or it's now over at Oracle Park, and you put the regular uniforms on. Just what is that transition like as a player to leave the thin air, to leave Arizona and come back to the Bay and know, yes, the real thing is about to happen?
Well, there's so much excitement in it. I mean, you just mentioned it, getting out of Arizona, getting out of where you've been, that environment for the last 6-8 weeks, however long it's been, whenever you get down there. And it's all kind of building yourself up until this Bay Bridge series where you come back. And although they are exhibition games, you're playing under the bright lights, not the Arizona lights, the ones that are the LEDs all around the stadium. You add those 2 decks back in, and just being in that environment again gets you really excited for what's coming in the next few days. So you get your final tune-up in. You hope that it goes well so you can end your spring on a good note and head into the regular season with the snowball rolling in the right direction.
As a pitcher, we know in the thin air, things are a little bit different. You don't get as much break. There's not as much spin. Just how much, I mean, everybody loves spring training. We all love going down. You have, you get your sausage, your beer, you get a tan, but for as a pitcher, how nice is it to get back to sea level, to get back to the thicker air and everything starts spinning a little bit? Because a lot of people don't understand. It's just the ball doesn't move in Arizona the way it moves in other places.
Well, I love playing golf in those thinner air places where you hit the ball forever. But, we were in 2012, we were in Colorado where Jeremy Affeldt had pitched, in the World Series for them where they got smoked by Javi Lopez and the Red Sox. But yeah, we got there and he goes, hey, man, that get me over breaking ball that you throw kind of sometimes? Don't throw it here. Everything is a 2-strike breaking ball. There's no friction. There's no resistance on the ball. It's like playing on the moon. And while Arizona is not as bad, it is a good tune-up because as you start getting more confident in your delivery as you go through the spring, you start fine-tuning that release point of where you want a 2-strike breaking ball to be, where you want a crisp in-zone breaking ball to be, what the 2-seam's going to do, what a cutter's going to do. So you have to be really cognizant of what the ball is going to do, and you really have to finish your pitches as obviously as a guy who's on the mound throwing the ball, you really have to get out in front and make sure that you're finishing all your pitches so you can impart that good late spin on them.
I remember it was one day, we were doing our shows before spring training games, Monday through Friday, and it was in the morning. I'm sitting there watching MLB Network, and they were going through the National League West, and they put up this graphic of all the different guys the Giants assigned. And I recently I emceed the Santa Clara County baseball banquet. We had Mitch Haniger there, Jock Peterson there, honoring them. And knowing that Mitch was coming over, Mitch killed us for years, Mariners and the A's. But I saw all, our guy, Sean Manaea. I saw all these different guys that the Giants brought in on this graphic. And I went, it's kind of like what Billy Beane would do back in the day. And Farhan obviously learned from Billy is, you bring in these guys, and if they have good years, you could have a good team. And I know Haniger's going to start on the IL. But when you just look at, guys with experience, things go the right way. I know everybody's talking Dodgers, everybody's talking Padres, and even Diamondbacks. A lot of people like, and I like the Diamondbacks. I think they're young and athletic. They're going to be interesting. But if things go the Giants' way with all these players, they got some experience, could be very interesting. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I think that going into spring training, when everyone was reporting, the main thing that the fans and people wanted to see was that big splash free agent. And obviously, the 2 of them that we were kind of working with, they kind of evaded us a little bit, signing elsewhere. But the guys that we brought in, when you take away that initial thought of a big splash superstar, have made this team significantly better. And you've really seen that in the last 10 days. And I'm a huge believer of the Giant way is pitching and good defense, which defense was a little bit shaky last year. I expect them to come out and play better on that front this year. But the pitching is going to be what always, in my opinion, has the success for this team. But you've got some guys in the middle of that lineup now that can really do some damage. It's not going to be worrying about maybe a 2-run game or a 3-2 game, 2-1, whatever it may be like that we've had in the past. These guys can go out there, and there's depth in this lineup. You have guys who can get on base. You have guys who can hit the ball for power all over the ballpark. Haniger hit 40 home runs a few years back. Jock can put the ball out of the ballpark pretty much any swing of the bat. So if these guys come and start the regular season doing what they are capable of, there's no reason why this Giants team can't make a little bit of noise. And they played the Dodgers and the Padres pretty tough throughout the regular season. I know we played them less this year, which is going to inevitably be in our favor if we're playing some other teams who aren't quite as good and the team does what they're supposed to.
Now, I got to tell you, what you just said, it's so similar to what we always talk about, because obviously you look at Oracle and the Coliseum, they're only 13 miles from each other across the bay. Big, cold, ballparks. And when you look at those teams in the 70s, the A's that won the World Series in 72, 73, 74, you look at all the success whenever the A's have been good, it's two things, pitching and defense. I know it's not sexy to everybody. You look at the Giants. Giants won 3 World Series, pitching and defense. We can talk hitting all we want, but run prevention is the name of the game. And when the A's have been great and when the Giants have been great, it's pitching and defense.
I think that when you look back at the 2021 season, the Giants won 107 games. And when I reflect on that and I think of what really went right, you had a team that had an unbelievable staff, and the bullpen really kicked in when it was supposed to and was locked down the second half of the season pretty much. Then you had defense that was fantastic, and the offense was significantly better than it was last year and the year prior to 2021 in that shortened season. But you had career years from Brandon Crawford, from Buster Posey. But with all that offense, I still am a believer that the reason why they won 107 games and were able to fend off the Dodgers and win the division, inevitably to fall to them in those 5 games, was the pitching and defense. Though you had starters who were going out from the beginning of the season and taking down those 6-7 innings, giving the bullpen a rest, giving them those extra innings and outings that they were going to need in August and September. Because if you start taking those guys and giving them those outings that you could maybe get out of a starter for another inning early, then they're gassed in August and September and they're not able to make that finishing push. But in 2021, they did everything right, and I really believe that it was pitching and defense that was the big thing for them.
All right, would you agree that in your career, whether it was San Francisco, Pittsburgh, New York, Cleveland, on your staffs for right-handed pitchers, you knew who had a good pickoff move and who didn't?
Who had a good, like when I was watching on the mound?
Like you knew your teammates, like who's good, who's not, right?
Oh yeah, who had good pickoff moves?
Yeah. So
yeah.
the other team knows too. And where I'm getting at now is now where I've seen the position of the pitch time. We don't want to say clocks. We call it the pitch timer. If I'm one of these runners and I know one of these guys on the mound doesn't have a good pickoff move and it's getting to like 16, 17, 18, I'm gone. I'm just thinking if you're smart. So just take us through as a right-handed pitcher with a bad pickoff move, how just exposed are you going to get this season?
To be honest with you, I don't even think you have to have a bad pickoff move. I think there are so many ways that the pitch timer or clock or whatever you want to call it is going to affect the outcome of at-bats and games. Yeah, if you have a bad pickoff move and you start getting there, especially on younger pitchers who haven't been at the big league level, because when you continue to climb these levels, there is a get-to-know process, especially for your own confidence. You have to go out there and have some good outings. And if you have guys just taking off, stealing bases from you all the time, your focus starts becoming on getting rid of a pitch as opposed to executing it properly. If you're in a 2-strike count and you're looking there and you see 3 on that timer, you're now in a rush and you're not able to execute that with the mental focus that it needs, because in the forefront of your mind, and Scherzer came out and said it yesterday in an interview, I'm looking at that timer every single pitch. And you're talking about a Hall of Famer, and it's taking away from his focus on the mound. But for some of these younger guys who haven't been as established, or guys who are even in a jam, it's going to make a huge difference with where pitches are ending up. And you're going to see more pitches that are supposed to be on plate, off the plate, starting middle to still on plate. And balls are going to be hit all over the yard this year, is my prediction. So you're going to definitely get that offense that the league wanted to create with this pitch timer.
And also the hitters feel rushed. And think about a new hitter. You come up to the big leagues, everything seems like it's going a million miles an hour, and now you get up and the ball's it's like you're in a batting cage. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, so you're going to feel that as the pitcher. You're going to feel that as the hitter too.
No, you absolutely will. I remember watching the first few games of spring training, and the game just felt like it was in fast forward. It's almost like you took the fast forward button and you increased it by like 0.25 or 0.5. Guys were just getting the ball back going. And you just felt it even as a viewer that these guys were having a hard time getting into a rhythm. That's part of the beauty of the game, I think, is watching everything unfold. And now all of it just seems like it's happening so fast.
So what would you do as a pitcher, at least to put like in a scouting report? Would you want to go over, like you get the ball, clock starts, like 5 seconds in, quick over, and then wait for another batter. Wait till it gets to like 18, 19, then go over, just to vary the time. So you at least, as we say, put it on the tape to show other teams you're not going to be consistent. You can go over at any time, no matter what the clock says.
So what I would do if I was still playing, and I was a quick worker, I always got the ball, I got back on the mound. But for forever, how you stop a run game is holding the ball. And now they've given you a little bit of an obstacle with holding the ball, but you can still vary it with the ability to step off and throw over. So you won't be able to play the same games that you used to. But I think if guys get the ball and are immediately back on the rubber looking in, you at least give yourself a few more seconds. But what I would do also is I would start calling my own pitches. I'd get on there. I'd call the pitch from what I wanted. And if Buster, for example, had something way different in his mind, then he'd call me off, as opposed to the traditional way of him putting down signs, me shaking to what I want. It's me giving what I want, him shaking it off. We're on the same page. Now I have a lot more time to give the runner on base at least some attention with holding and doing the gimmicky things that you can do to keep guys from stealing bases. But you're gonna see some guys starting to be creative with how they can get around some of these new restrictions.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch, no question. Let's end on this. You guys there tonight in the last game of the preseason, the last Bay Bridge game before we get going on Thursday, going to honor a terrific pitcher, a hell of a guy. We got to know him over here in Oakland, saw him for years, a 3-time World Series champion. Closed out a World Series, but Sergio Romo was such a big part of the Giants' success, one of the great Frisbee sliders that we have ever seen. And you always respect him, right? Because he was like everybody else. He was the same size as everybody else, but he had a huge heart, and he battled. And the fact that he was on a lot of great teams. I mean, he's like one of the original openers in Tampa. There's a lot of history with Sergio Romo's career, but honoring tonight with the Giants, you're going to be there. How special is that going to be?
Well, it's going to be great for Sergio. I mean, he's one of those guys that, like you said, he's got a huge heart. He means well for everybody, always willing to lend an ear, always got that smile on his face. And when you put him in between the white lines, the guy was never the biggest in stature, but those cojones he had in big situations were really, really important for the teams that he was on, especially the ones that I was on. I mean, the guy threw an 88-mile-an-hour fastball in a 3-2 count to Miguel Cabrera to end a World Series. So he always went out there and pitched fearless and had ice in his veins and all the things that we've heard about him. But the guy's an unbelievable human being as well, and he means a lot to me as a teammate and a friend. I was just at his wedding in January. We had a great time at his wedding with some of the guys, and it'll be great that he's getting this opportunity to walk it off in a Giants uniform to El Nacho wearing 54 again. So it'll be a great, great final day for him, taking it in between the white lines in the black and orange.
Yeah, we're happy for him. He's a great guy. And then during the season, I'll be seeing you. Well, we'll want to have you on the program again. But when I'm hosting A's pregame live, you'll be doing Giants pregame live.
That's
so
right.
We'll see you during the season at NBC.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, once again, you were the first guy on video. It'd always be special to us. Hey, enjoy the night with all your teammates. You guys had such a great run and truly enjoyed. These are the best times.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks for having me.
George Kontos, World Series champion with the San Francisco Giants. You see him on Giants pre- and post-game live. A super guy. I get to see him in NBC. So we've got to do the interviews and then now get to know him. I see him all the time. Me and Stu talking to him. But fascinating stuff. Like, hey, congratulations, Sergio. Would you 66 games he played for us? That's a lot.
Yeah, 66 games in
2000. He was in 66 games?
Yeah, it's 2021. Romo's with us.
That's what's up.
66 games, yeah.
He would always say, that's what's up.
We had him on the show, I think, one time, and it was good.
Nice guy.
Yeah,
really nice.
I mean, everyone loves the song, Michonne. I mean, so I used to have it on here somewhere, but I don't think I have it anymore because, well, Romo has been with us since 2021.
But Romo, legitly nice guy. I mean, could have been at that point, like when he came over, like he doesn't want to do all the stuff that, you know, they ask you to do. No, never. I mean, he always like, hey, it's a giveaway. Can you do it? Romo to the staff, Romo to everybody was a super dude.
Real quick, do you want some A's news?
But wait a minute. Remember, we always talk about he was an A.
Yeah.
Sergio Romo will retire. He was an A.
I don't know if he's going to
just like Willie McCovey and Orlando Cepeda.
Yeah. I was trying
could
to
have Bonds. We could have Bonds. Imagine Bonds would have been the DH. Would have been awesome.
I was trying to find.
Would have been the only time I would have loved Barry Bonds. Imagine Barry Bonds as an A hitting bombs.
I don't know if I
at like 42 years old or whatever.
He never still officially retired, by the way. So I mean,
I take Bonds. I said this a few years ago. I take Bonds right now at his age. I take Bicycle Barry. All right, what's the A's news?
All right, so from Matt Kawahara first baseman Ryan Noda, the Rule 5 draft pick, has been told he's made the team.
Yes.
So that's one. Noda's on the team. Kawahara also said.
Wait a minute. Let me write that down. Another prediction for Townie that has come home.
Kotze apparently also told the media from Matt Kawahara, the A's plan to carry both Adam Oller and J.P. Sears, but are holding off naming a fifth starter. So,
well, I mean, that's not really. Okay, if they're not on the team, who is?
Yeah, so I think
who is?
So apparently they're still discussing the
Where's the 40-man roster? I got the 40-man. Okay.
Plus, we found out the other day Waldachuk he's in the rotation.
I got the roster here. I'm losing stuff. I got the roster here. Let's go to pitchers. If you're not going to have J.P. Sears and Adam Oller, who you taking?
Let's see. Racinski's going to start on the injured list. So
is he starting on the IL officially?
I believe he's. I don't know if it's official yet, but I remember thought about reading that he might start on the injured list.
So we got Blackburn IL, Racinski IL.
Cap's pitching tonight, so he's in the rotation.
Yeah, we already know.
Yeah, Waldachuk.
Cap, Waldachuk,
Fuji,
Moeller, and you're going to have Sears and Oller.
Yeah.
Well, we already know Fuji's only going 1 day a week.
And Moeller starting opening day. So there you go.
I mean, there is nobody else. It has to be Sears and Oller.
Decision still pending on a few final roster spots, including backup catcher. So it must be between, Pozo.
Or are you going to go Freddie Tarnock?
I
mean, that.
And who knows?
All right, so what do we got left?
Johnny D.
No. What do we got left on the roster?
Oh,
what do we decide
backup
here?
catcher. So we have what is it? McCann and Perez and Pozo.
We've got.
Still don't know about
Pena's on the IL.
Yeah, we still
Pozo, McCann.
We still don't know if Pache's made the team. That hasn't been out there yet, right? Because we heard that.
No, we don't know that. But he doesn't make the team, you lose him. So. To me, that would just be, as hard as I was on him last year, he did exactly what we asked. We did exactly what he was at. And that gets back to my whole theory of we need to view people, if you're really talking about long-term, what's best for the organization? Or what are your goals? Are your goals just to salvage some wins now, or building a base and a core for the future? What are you trying to do right now?
Build a base and a core for the future.
Okay, so then you're with me saying if you're on my team today, really Thursday, I've got to envision you on this roster 2-3 years from now.
Correct. I would look at it.
If I don't envision you on this roster, I don't want you here. No offense, nothing personal. If I can't close my eyes and looking into Townie's crystal ball, and I don't see you 2-3 years from now, 2 years is 2025.
Correct. Yes.
According to my calendar.
Yeah, that's true.
Not the Mayan calendar. Is the Mayan calendar over, by the way? Were we all supposed to be dead by now?
2012, yeah.
Was it 2012?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
we had a great year that year.
It's 11 years later.
If I'm looking at my crystal ball, 12 and 26, if I don't see you, I'm kind of like, what are we doing here? I'm not salvaging. I'm building. I want those guys to play, learn. If they get their brains beat in this year, I don't care. They got to be here. If you're not the plan for because listen, you'll be, well, what about Peterson and Diaz? They got 2-year contracts. They were here for 2 years. They're here. They're going to be here next year. But they're veteran guys. I'm looking at younger guys. I got to see them in the A's uniform in 2025. Do I see potentially Ryan Noda being the A's first baseman in 2025? Hell yeah, I do. I mean, I got to sink or swim. This is your opportunity. Loved his confidence. Loved talking to him. I see us doing a lot of shows with Ryan Noda. Let's see it. Sink or swim. Christian Pache, sink or swim. Let's see it. Nicky Knox, sink or swim. Let's watch him play. And Diaz is going to play short. Everybody's going to play everywhere. Kevin Smith, you were a monster last month. You had a great spring. Sink or swim. He can play third. He can play short. He can play second. He can play first. Nobody's got not one person, not one, except maybe, of course, the catcher, Shea Langoliers. Because Shea's not going out to left field this year. Other than Langoliers, everybody's going to play in different spots.
I'm waiting to see the Kevin Smith. That's one too. Him and Pache are the one. I mean,
I'd be shocked if Kevin Smith's not on this team.
I mean, because the lineup, I have the lineup right here. The lineup today, right now, the lineup against the Giants, you got Seth Brown in left, Ramon in right, and Ruiz in center. So if that's your three outfielders, who's your other two?
Wait, say that again.
Brown's in left, Ruiz in center, Ramon in right. So if you keep Pache, that's who's the other one? Capel or
Rooker. And how are you not going to have Capel on the team?
He had a nice spring.
And the way he played for you last year.
Yeah. And he's still young. He's what, 25?
I mean, you have the luxury of putting guys down in AAA Vegas. You're going to need them all. I mean,
yeah.
You had 64 players last year. Everybody's going to play at some point, but I'm not going to overreact to the opening day roster. Knowing that, let's be honest, they used 64 players last year. A lot of players are going to be used this year. But there's certain guys I want to see. And Capel, I've mentioned it from day one, Connor Capel's one of those guys I want to see play left field. I want to see him get a legit opportunity. But don't get stuck with anybody. Second base can be Tony Kemp. It can be Diaz. It can be, obviously, Nick Allen. There are a bunch of guys can play second base. All right? Jordan Diaz came up last year and played second base. He never played the position in his career. Don't get hooked on anybody playing anywhere. With the A's, there's versatility has got to be king. And I know our boy Brownie hasn't played first base this spring, but don't think he's not going to be playing some first base this year at some point.
Yeah, and Tony Kemp's playing second base today. Diaz is playing short. Aguilar's DHing and Noda's at first. So I'm excited to see what I want to see what Cap does tonight. I know it's still spring training, but he's still building up after coming off the injury. So he's looked good.
I'm proud of Cap this spring, by the way. And, we can get into Johnny D with that. Yes, Johnny D. Johnny D at Oracle.
He is there, yeah.
Johnny D, Oracle Park, next, right here. A's Cast Live.
Unbeatable mileage from Chevron with Techron unlocks all kinds of unbeatable trips. Like to family dinner the next town over. Or to a family wedding the next town over. Or even to a family reunion over the river and through the woods at Grandma's house. Any drive is worth it to see Grandma. Especially when you can stop along the way for unbeatable cleaning power from Chevron with Techron. Your engine will be thanking you for making the trip. Download the Chevron app now and find unbeatable mileage near you.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together.
Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today.
What's the material?
Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And RingCentral's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. RingCentral. Message, video, phone, together.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
A's fans, there is no better way to stay in touch with the A's and even our players than following us on social media. Just head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social for a full list of our social coverage, from player accounts to Twitter handles and more. Now is the time to stay in touch. Head over to athletics.com/social. That's athletics.com/social today.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
I just made an executive decision, even though I'm not an executive. Am I an executive?
No, but I mean, I'm the lower level employee on this program, so don't take that away from me.
Okay. There's just some things that are beyond my control and my power.
True.
And technology-wise, there's just some things that the old technology I knew how to fix. The new technology, I do not. So the strategy is this. I could either, and I've been dealing with it the entire show, I could really mess around with it, or I could just go with what I know.
And what works.
I have multiple things to make it work. Long term, I've got a lot of technology. I'm going to go with the one that works versus the one I really want to use, because I got to do some stuff to it, and I don't think that I'm really qualified to mess around with this technology. You know, it's kind of like with your house. You know, some guys want to be, I do it myself. I do everything. It's my house. I'll do it myself. And then they screw it up, and then it's going to cost them more money because someone's got to not only fix it, but they got to fix your screw up to go along with what's broken at your house. You got to bring in the professionals. My professional is Michael J. Baird.
He's at Oracle Park.
Who's at Oracle Park right now. And he's not listening to the program right now.
Well, he might be because Johnny's in there.
But Michael J. Baird is essentially like he's everything. He's like E.F. Hutton. You trust him. He knows it. The only person I trust is Michael J. Baird, and I'm afraid if I do anything,
it could screw it up.
It'll screw it up even more, and then Michael J. Baird will be calling me a moron.
You know what I have to say?
Just make it happen. Yeah, just make it happen. Well, you know what? I can't. So that's why I'm making an executive decision, and I'm stepping away, and I'm going to go with our travel unit versus the home unit.
All right, Johnny D is patiently waiting.
Johnny D will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
Townie, I hear it, bro. With technology, I'm consistently 24.5 point dog against technology, and I never cover. I get crushed every time. I'm the worst. So yeah, I know.
So I was trying to fire up the Comrex brick here in the home studio.
Yeah.
I have my fancy travel unit, but I have the brick here at home, and I haven't used the brick since last season, and I'm thinking, no big deal, and fired it up, and it wanted to update and do all this. Usually the stuff Michael Baird does for me,
right.
I thought I could do, and then I started asking questions and started doing stuff that I'm not prepared to handle. I need me some Michael J. Baird. He's supposed to be over your right shoulder. He is not there.
Well, no, I'm actually right now, Townie. I'm in the visiting TV booth, so I've got I've got this whole booth to myself right now. So yeah, no, they're 2 booths over right now. So
when you go back in there, make sure you tell Michael J. Baird we need to talk. I need help.
I'll say that you're overmatched on this, and yeah, absolutely. I hear you. No, I'm the same way. I will tell MJB for sure. Yep.
It would be like, back in the day facing Nolan Ryan, where you knew you're like, man, I hope he walks me. Otherwise, I'm just striking out 3-4 times.
Right. No shot. Yeah, exactly.
The roster pretty much, we've always, we've known since spring training, we kind of knew what was really going on. I was always a big Noda guy. I've been a big Noda guy since we were in San Diego, the Rule 5 pick. I'd never seen him before, but I went, wait a minute. A Dodger prospect blocked by Freeman. We're taking him. I believe in the Dodgers system. We knew that Diaz coming in was going to play some short. We've been telling the fans that there's not a guarantee we're going to have an everyday shortstop. A lot of people are going to play a lot of positions.
Yes.
Kevin Smith is an interesting one after he was a monster last year. At the end of the year, big spring, he can play a lot of different positions. Esty Ruiz has been told that he's going to be on the roster. I mean, Pache's kind of the one we're looking at.
Yeah,
it's great. We're now really starting to see what the 26 is going to look like. What surprises could be left for you?
Yeah, I guess the surprise left for me is what's like you said, what's going to happen with Pache? Like, will Pache make this team? And he's had a good spring, and he's a guy, he's so good defensively, as you know. But with Ruiz on the team, do you keep Ruiz and Pache? It's Kotsay plays it pretty close to the vest, as you know, Townie. So you're not really going to get many answers. I'm sure he's told the guys who's going to make the team, who isn't, but we don't know. So I don't know. Will Kevin Smith get a spot on this team? I think you're so right, though, man. It's going to be a bunch of guys playing a variety of positions. Not going to have too many set positions, but I think Noda's going to make the team. I can't imagine they did their homework on Noda. They know this guy. Not going to worry about maybe a slow spring or whatever. I'm with you. I like Noda. I think Noda is going to be a really good player for the A's, and I think just because he got off to a slow start doesn't make the man. So I think he's gonna be good. And Aggie, of course, Aguilar, the track record speaks for itself. So with Aguilar and Noda at first, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with Pache, though. I'm waiting with bated breath to see if Pache makes this club or not.
This spring, one of the really interesting interviews we did was with James Caprillion. Now that I've known him for a few years, it was kind of like a heart-to-heart, right? I don't know if you want to watch it, where I said to him, I said, you know what? You want to be the guy. You've been training for that since you were at UCLA, since you were a first-round pick for the Yankees, all the injuries, and we kind of really got into it. It was kind of like, getting into his soul. Like, this is who you want to be. This is the time for you to finally be that guy. You need to prove it to yourself. You need to prove it to us. You need to prove it to the baseball world that you can be a number one, that you can be a lead of the rotation. This was a guy who was all Pac-12, all this, all that, first-round pick by the Yankees. The Yankees expected him to be in their rotation right now, pitching behind a guy like Garrett Cole. That's where the expectation. So this is finally the time. I'm happy for him. He's going into this season. He's healthy. He's clear-minded. He's going tonight. I'm hoping big things for James Caprillion. How about you?
Well, first of all, I'm not surprised that you got deep with him, because he is a very introspective guy, and he's very honest, and he's just he'll tell you he'll pour out his emotion. He'll tell you exactly how he feels. But this is a big year for him. And I'll tell you what, he looked really good, I thought, in that last start. Granted, it wasn't the biggest, it wasn't the best A roster of the Cubs, but there were some regulars in there, and he 5 innings and 1 run, but he's looked good, man. He really has. And I think it is a big year for him. And I think he wants to take ownership of this year. And this is a year that he wants to come out and dominate. They're going to kind of work him in slowly, but he's a guy that obviously has really good stuff. And I think I agree with you. I think Caprillian's going to have a nice year this year, and he's going to be good. I'd like to, and this will be great tonight. See if he can go 6 innings tonight, maybe stretch it out a little bit to get to 5 or 6 innings, and then get ready to start either against the Angels or the next series they have. So yeah, this is I think it's a big year, obviously huge year for Caprillian, and he takes ownership of it. And again, he's going to be honest with you, and I'm glad you got deep with him, because it doesn't surprise me at all, Townie, not at all.
Yeah, I can see Muller going Thursday. We already know Muller's going Thursday. Yep. Fuji going Saturday,
yep.
And Cap would go Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, it would. That sounds like that would make a lot of sense. And look, I'm looking forward to. There's something special about. Look, we're 3 days away from opening day, and no matter what the prognosticators say about the A's and how they're going to do, and how many wins they're going to have, and what's going to happen, there's nothing like opening day. Nothing like opening day where every team is 0-0. You just don't know what's going to happen. I like the unpredictability of it, and I like the fact that these guys in the clubhouse are loose. They're enjoying each other's company. It's one thing that Muller said. He said there's something about this clubhouse where, look, we're just like he said we're kind of like a high school team, in that we're just, everybody's like back to your roots as far as enjoying the game and enjoying each other and being around each other and rooting for each other. So he feels kind of a special kinship with a lot of these guys. And I think, look, that doesn't mean that means a lot. That's not nothing. That means a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this team can do when nobody is picking them to do anything. And they're going to go in, and they're going to hang out with each other and root for each other, and see what they can do.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and one of the great stories, and maybe I don't know if we'll have time to ever get to it, but one of the great stories in baseball history was the 1991 season, where you had 2 last place teams.
Right. Twins, Braves, yep.
And I'm looking up the 1991 Minnesota Twins. You had the oh, here they are. You got the Twins played the Braves in the World Series, and the fact that both these teams the year before were last place teams.
Right.
And next thing you know, they're playing in the World Series. It was literally unbelievable. Now, it wasn't so crazy from the Twins the year before. They had a ton of injuries. I mean, they had a Hall of Famer in Kirby Puckett and Jack Morris. Frank Viola was there. Gagne, Herbeck, and the great Chili Davis, our former hitting coach, who we saw at Vuce's retirement. They got a ton of talent. Rick Aguilera was there. This guy's off the top of my head. They had a ton of guys. The Braves were a bunch of young unknowns, right? No one at that point. I mean, Tom Glavine had been getting his brains beat in. Smoltz, no one knew Smoltz and Glavine were going to be Hall of Famers at that point. Greg Maddux wasn't there. They had guys like Charlie Lebrand. I mean, but it just goes to show, as you said, you went into 1991. I mean, we could probably go back and find people's predictions. Nobody had Twins. Nobody had Braves in the World Series.
No, nobody did. And that's what I like about it. Look, are the A's going to the World Series this year? Probably not. But I'll say this: I think they're going to do better than people are saying they're going to do. I'll tell you that. I mean, you talk to people and they say, "Oh, how are the A's going to do?" I think they'll do better than people think. And yeah, exactly. Nobody picked the Braves and the Twins that year. That's for sure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Thursday. I'm looking forward to a week from Thursday. I'm looking forward to just getting on with the season and seeing what this team can do with the pitching and the bullpen and starting pitching in the bullpen and using a bunch of different guys at a bunch of different positions. But I don't know. There's a pretty good vibe in that clubhouse, Townie. So we'll see how they do.
Will anybody be more excited than you on opening day?
No, I don't. Maybe the Commander. Are you kidding me? Commander loves opening day. You know that. So
I don't think anybody's going to be more excited than you.
I'm pretty giddy with a capital G. I'm pretty giddy.
This is your first real big league opening day as a big leaguer.
It's very true. Very true, Townie. I'm excited. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to being part of it. And Angels, Ohtani. We got Ohtani and Muller. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Can't wait.
All right, this will be our last installment. We've been doing this all spring. Our last installment. It's going to be Know Your Giants.
Okay.
It's not going to be about actual the San Francisco Giant players. All right, what do we got? Johnny D, who, by the way, I think you've done an outstanding job with trivia this year.
Thank you.
You've done a very good job.
I think we should expand it into the regular season.
No, well,
teams we haven't
maybe
played
once a week.
Yeah.
Maybe once a week.
All right, Johnny, first question. What year did the Giants ballpark open?
That'd be okay.
The Oracle opened up in 2000.
Okay. What are the 4 names that Oracle Park has gone by?
Ooh.
Oh man, AT&T.
1.
Pac Bell.
2.
Oracle.
3.
You know, someone out there is cussing me out right now. They're like, "You don't know the 4th?"
For the win. What is it?
God.
Come on. Know your telephone companies.
Know your telephone companies. Oh man, I don't know what's the 4th.
Come on. Everybody had this one time for their email address. It's a long one. Come on, telephone company.
I can't remember.
SBC Global.
Oh man, SBC Global. All right. Hey.
It was basically telephone companies buying telephone companies. So it went from Pac Bell to SBC Global to AT&T, and then this isn't a telephone company, but Oracle came.
Yeah,
right.
All right, you got 3 out of 4.
All right.
Yeah.
Who was the last major league trade between the A's and the Giants? Ooh. It's happened recently. Let's see if you remember who it was.
Oh, that's right. There was one recently. Before that, was it Polonia? No, but recently, let's see.
I think it was Ernie Riles.
It was the last.
Ernest Riles. That's right.
Not
Ernest
this
Riles.
one, though.
Yeah.
Wow, this is great.
God. You know, bro, I tell you what, I forget.
The answer would be A's great Birch Smith.
The great Birch Smith.
Birch Smith. Wow. I would have got that. I would not have got that.
Birch was a great guy.
He was.
This next
Super guy.
This next one's a layup. I am a former A and Giant who has a statue outside of Oracle Park.
I'm former A
and Giant.
You got 2 choices here.
Yeah. Just give us one.
Just give us one. You have a statue at Oracle Park. There's 2 of them.
Well, it's not Sergio Romo. Doesn't have one yet.
No.
He might be on the Giants Wall of Fame.
Oh, he's got to be Giants Wall of Fame.
He'll be on there.
I might. I mean, you might be on the Giants. Anybody could be on that thing. No,
God, bro. My brain is.
Come on.
I know. I don't know.
You've never seen the statues at Oracle?
I'm just losing it.
You're there. It's right. It's like literally 20 yards from you.
All right, we'll eliminate one. We know it's not Willie Mays.
It's not Willie Mays.
Yeah. It's embarrassing right now. My brain is fried, bro. I'm sorry.
It's literally like a sandwich from you right where you are right now. If you teed it up, you get it a sandwich there. He's left-handed. The Cove is named after him.
Oh, Willie McCovey. Sorry.
Willie McCovey.
Sorry. Yeah, McCovey. I'm sorry.
And then your other option is Orlando Cepeda.
I'm sorry, bro.
A's greats.
Did
Gaylord Perry play for the A's?
No.
But he was Ray Fosse's buddy, so that.
All right, last one. This one has to do with a Giants player, but it's something else. Who am I? I gave up $756 to Barry Bonds.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
I gave up $756. Does it? He was a Diamondback too. Starts with a C.
There's a C in there.
There's a C in his name, yeah.
C in there. Not to start with a C, but there's a C in there.
I can't remember. Who was it?
He was a Ray, too.
Oh, he's a Ray?
The answer, he's now a Rangers broadcaster, Mike Bassick.
Mike Bassick. Nice. Okay.
He hosts, I think he's a host on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. The guy's really made a career. He's made a career out of himself after the Barry Bonds.
That's a good knowledge.
That was a poor showing by me for Giants trivia. Poor showing.
You knew the ballpark. That's all that matters.
Well, you just worked inside the Giants organization for like 9 years.
I know. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
You were the voice, right? It's on your resume.
Yeah, I was there. I did a couple games in there, and I should know that's just embarrassing. I'm not going to sleep well tonight, Tony. I'm not going to sleep well.
It's all right. Doesn't matter. It's the Giants. Who cares? They stink. You can tell everybody I said that over there. Tell them Tanny says you guys stink. You're playing for third at best. Are you on the air tonight?
No, I'm the Ken and Mintz are on, and I'm just going to keep scoring and enjoy the game.
Well, you have to. Is Johnny scheduled for opening day?
Yeah, him and I are going to do the last 15 minutes.
Okay, you got to come now early because I just want to talk to you. I want your first opening day. I want to be a part of it.
Okay, let's hang out. Sounds good.
I want to see it through your eyes.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Sounds good.
I think it's got. I think you're being humble. I think it's a. Let me brag for you. I think it's gonna be a big day for your career. I think it's awesome. It's what you've dreamt about. Not many people get their dreams. Not many people hit their dreams. Your dream's being made this Thursday, and I think it's going to be an absolute wonderful day for you and your family.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, enjoy this one tonight, your last preseason. By the way, how good was it to get home and be in your own bed?
Well, I haven't yet. I saw my brother last night. I'll see my wife and kid tonight late or tomorrow morning. I cannot wait to get home. Really excited.
Because we all love spring training. And all of a sudden, we're there for a month. Like, ew.
Yeah, I had a 31-night stay. They go, you're here for 31 nights. 31-night stay. So, yeah, it's nice.
31 nights. Yeah, after a while, it's like, I can't wait to get out of here. Yes. All right, enjoy the game tonight, and then enjoy wife, kid, and welcome back home.
Thanks, brother. We'll talk soon.
Johnny, you take care. Johnny Doskow making his MLB debut on Thursday. Going to be very, very special. Can't wait to have him on here on the program.
Yeah,
talk about
it. It's gonna be fun. Thursday.
I think he did pretty good this year on Know Your. Some teams he was on it.
Yeah.
Some of your like you were like, what beer is brewed at Coors Field? Who the hell knows it's? I now like Blue Moon. I would out of all the beers you could have guessed, like Dos Equis, the most interesting man. I don't know. How is Coors Field not brewed? How is Coors not brewed at Coors Field?
All I know is that I made I set no limitations on my questions for Johnny, and I expect that Johnny.
I thought Johnny did very well.
Yeah, he can ask me questions going forward and see if I know my. He can play know your Halos with me on Thursday. See if I know anything.
Well, you know what? You guys do that on your time.
We will. We have the last 15 minutes.
You can have the last 15.
Every answer is going to be Troy Percival.
You know, something that I was thinking about today as I had a big Costco run today, my big before the season starts Costco run. Because, once the season starts, I kind of get into my little bubble. And then there's like, well, we don't have paper towels. We don't have toilet paper. So I went to Costco today, got everything. I had a big bill at Costco today, but I got everything. I got detergent. I got dishwasher, laundry, everything my wife needs for at least a month. She's got now. And I was listening to oh my God, did you hear about the City Connect jersey with the Braves?
I did, yeah.
I don't care. And nobody else cares.
I told you I only care about one, and it's at the end of June.
I just don't. I don't know why we fear gambling so much. I mean, if we went all in on it, like right now, because they did today on High Heat with Mad Dog. They were going over and unders. They led their show with over and unders. Like if we could actually, with A's fans, do it like on this show, how much fun it would be if everybody said, hey, put $20 on the A's to hit the over of 59.5 or 60, wherever you get it. And we could take a look at it at a third of the way in, halfway point. It's like other sports have gone all in on gambling. All in. Baseball is still like, you can. I mean, we can't even, I'm like, what? We're going to have, in Japan, we were sponsored by MGM in Japan. MGM. We got DraftKings. We got all this stuff. Like, why can't we go all in? Football has gone all in. They've turned fantasy into a huge business.
Yeah.
We're still like, oh my God, don't talk about gambling. Like, what? Why are we not all in on gambling? Why? Other leagues are. The NBA, Silver. Adam Silver. He's all in. The commissioner of the NBA, they're all in. Why can't we be all in?
You said it earlier. I'm going to say no. That's above my pay grade.
That's above your pay grade?
But I am with you, though. I think every other sport embraces it.
They're showing the spreads on games in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're showing you the spreads. Like,
doesn't MLB Network have a gambling show that wasn't Matty V hosting it?
Yes. Like what?
The Spread, I think it was called.
Why can't we go all in? Why are we like still like, don't do that? I don't get it. We'll get more into that. But you know what? This is it. Let me get back to my note. I said it. Do I have time to at least get my note in?
You better hurry.
My note was this: start of spring training before a game. Will the A's change their offensive strategies to be competitive this season? Run some more. And they've done that. Will they continue it tonight into this week? Opening day, get your track shoes on, take 90 feet. That's who the A's got to be. So far, they've done it. It's been a great preseason. We've enjoyed all the guests, previewing all the different teams, spring training sites. Thank you for watching A's Cast Live. A's, Giants, the second game of the Bay Bridge Series next. We'll see everybody opening day, 4 o'clock, right here on A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Link Soul, and you're